Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. Today, we got a breaking story coming out of Essex Correctional Facility in New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey, to be exact. Okay, speaking about a very popular rapper by the name of Casanova 2 times. I don't know exactly what he goes by now. Anyways, this guy happened to have just got slashed behind bars, and we're going to break that down here in a second with these two articles. But if you enjoy this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my playlist with over 1,400 videos for you to start watching today. Now, please bear with me. This is a new camera angle, and I got to get used to the lens being right in my face again. This is actually how I started off this whole channel. I look in the dark circle of the lens and imagine all of y'all watching me. That's how it helps me to get this done. Sometimes I don't even look at the lens. I know a lot of y'all see me staring off to the side sometimes. I don't know. I just not in the mood. So let's start off with an article coming from TMZ. This is actually what a lot of people are saying is the reason behind the slashing, but I'm not here to speak about the slashing of this individual. I'm talking about what he's trying to get in the courtroom and what recently just happened. Will it prohibit him from getting leniency? Because he's facing over 60 years in prison on RICO charges. Casanova is begging a judge for mercy ahead of his sentencing after pleading guilty to drug trafficking and RICO charges. I don't know if y'all gangsters out there that are part of all these organizations ain't been realizing, but nobody's been beating these RICO cases. Everybody's taking a plea, so what does that mean? You're in a lose-lose game, man. Lose-lose, you know that, right? This is America's house, right? And America has a justice system. It's their house. You can play dirty all you want. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. And you're part of some kind of group organization, all y'all gonna go down sooner or later, man. Especially when you start bringing violence and large sums of money into the game through this organization, yeah, you're gonna be watched very carefully very soon. A lot of these guys will make it through life as a gang member, but they're not really putting in work or making a lot of money to even get on the radar. Some of them accidentally mess up and get caught up with the guys that are making some serious money, and they fall down the whole ladder of individuals that get the RICO case, right? But it's a lose-lose game, man. Y'all need to wake up, smell the coffee. I'm seeing dudes go to the penitentiary for massive amounts of time. If not, they're dying. Not to mention the loyalty. There ain't no loyalty in no game, man. That's why I only play my own. I don't give a damn how solid y'all think y'all's organization is. There's going to be someone in there that ain't loyal. Mr. Casanova wants the court to know that he's no longer associated with the gang that got him into trouble in the first place. Okay, now, he's saying this in the courtroom in front of the judge, which I think every person a part of an organization, unless there's like a stipulation or rule stating that you have to claim your position at any given time, whether in the courtroom or in front of anyone, you got to claim it, right? I don't think there's any gang that puts that into the rule book. I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, this is why a lot of people might be thinking he got slashed because he denounced his gang organization in front of the courts. I don't think it was just that. I think there might be more behind it, right? But most people, when they go in front of the courtroom, especially before sentencing, okay, keep in mind he pled guilty. So he's going to be going for sentencing probably a few months down the road, and he's facing 60 years in prison. Anyone in their right mind is going to denounce being a part of any kind of violent gang organization. He could be bluff and go back to the cell block and get with his homies and play the role until sentencing's done and over with. Or he could possibly be really denouncing it. I don't know. I'm just showing different angles that people might be looking at it from behind bars. But the article goes on to say that in new legal documents obtained by TMZ Hip Hop, the embattled Rock Nation rapper lays it all out in an emotional letter to the judge, in which he fully renounces his gang ties to the Gorilla Stone Nation Bloods and promises to continue speaking out against gang life. Man, oh man, look, let that be a testimony to y'all out there. When you're facing 60 years in prison, even in the belly of the beast in gangland, will you denounce your gang? I'm sorry, man, 60 years is a long stretch. 3 doors on a microwave by the time you get out. People start denouncing everything, man, even their own kids. Yeah, that ain't my kids, smoke them. I can't do that at 60, Your Honor. I'm just saying, I've seen it. Fathers turning on their sons and everything when a lot of times on the line, man. It happens. The 36-year-old Brooklyn native said in the courts as well that he also pointed to his hard upbringing and lack of a father figure as a catalyst for his dip into the crime world, but says music created a positive outlet for him. For someone like him who's been in the streets, yeah, it could be a positive outlet to rap about your life and let people hear it, kind of like venting, right? But is it positive outlet for the people listening that ain't never lived that life, and they see glory in it and they want to live it, and they end up living it in prison? That's the thing, rappers out there. You could rap about that gangster life and all that, but don't forget to tell them about the penitentiary. Casanova plans to speak out against gangs while locked up and says he made new acquaintances to assist with his mission. And that's going to play a big part in the next article, okay? Why I think he might just get smoked at his sentencing. Casanova also submitted dozens of letters from family and friends and colleagues vouching for his character in hopes that the judge takes into account during his sentencing so he can serve his sentence and get back to his normal life and family. Should have been thinking about that before, bro. Honestly, you really should have. You know how much stuff I turned down because I know if I get caught, I'll be taken away from my wife and kids? If it can take you away from your wife and kids, then why do it? Why do it? Okay? You have no one else to blame but yourself, not your upbringing, nothing. As soon as you learned about the state penitentiary and jail, it don't matter what your upbringing should have been. You know you don't want to go there, right? So don't do anything that's going to land you there. Simple as that. But unfortunately, people just don't think they'll get caught. Now let's jump over to another article coming from XXL about what just happened immediately after his court date. Keep in mind his court date, he pled guilty and he's going to be waiting for sentencing. He's doing all this stuff in hopes for the judge to give him a lenient sentence. He wants to show the judge, or at least act like he's changed. And this right here ain't gonna help him one bit. Casanova is recovering after getting his face slashed during a prison altercation just days after denouncing his gang affiliation in court. Now look, a lot of people, if they're part of an organization, they're head up or something and they're well known, word will be said to the group that, hey, he's gonna be doing this in the courtroom, but don't really go for it. Right? Don't go for it. It's just a gimmick. But by him being attacked, the same week, it tells me a little bit otherwise. But I'm not going to lead and reach here. I'm just going to read the article. And maybe later on, if there's more facts to come out, I'll do a recap. On Friday, June 16th, NBC New York reported on an investigation into the violence at the Essex County Correctional Facility in Newark, New Jersey. The incident occurred on Thursday, June 15th. Casanova's face was slashed with a weapon by a fellow inmate, Ulysses Lugo. And this is key. Casanova and a group of men then reportedly chased down Lugo and returned the favor, cutting Lugo several times in the face. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's not good, especially for him during sentencing. When correctional officers responded to the scene, both Lugo and Casanova were covered in blood. And that's true, man. If you've ever seen anyone get slashed in the face, it just won't stop leaking. Some spots, man, like I seen someone in prison get cut in their toe, just a little sliver cut in their toe because they're shaving their toes. In prison, these guys, they'll start shaving their feet with razors, the dead skin off of them. I mean, it's crazy. Some of these guys will take the whole razor off and it's like chiseling it off their foot. Anyway, this guy clipped a little bit of skin on his pinky toe. I mean, a little nick. This thing bled everywhere for like an hour or two. It was unreal. So just imagine, somewhere around the face where blood is pumping on a regular basis, it's going to be leaking everywhere. The minor incident and whether weapons were employed is under investigation, the statement reads. I think it's funny how they put the minor incident. Maybe it wasn't too bad of a slashing, which is hard for me to understand because in the article he said a group of guys went back and exchanged the favor, slashing him in the face a few times. That doesn't sound too minor to me. But I wonder how bad he got Casanova. What if he comes out, he got a damn $150 or a damn 180? I did a video on $150s, man. And there's so many different meanings to them, believe it or not. But usually when someone gets cut across their face in any way in prison, they call that a $150, and it's usually used for snitches. Not saying anything, I'm not reaching or leading, I'm just telling you facts. It says that after he got slashed, that he went and chased the dude down with a group of guys, and he's denouncing hanging out with a group of guys. Okay, he's He's saying, I don't hang out with those guys no more, man. But he's in the cell block chasing someone down with a group of guys, slashing dude's face. I mean, yeah, in jail, if you get slashed across your face, most people, especially if you got a weapon on you, you ain't gonna think. You're just gonna react, and that means retaliate. See, in the court's eyes, they expect you to go into lockup, get jumped or whatever, get slashed up, and not do nothing. Just take it and, go to medical and hopefully it don't happen again. You can't retaliate or else you're going to get some time added to your damn sentence too. It doesn't matter if it was self-defense or not. Sometimes it plays a good role. But when you're in prison, it's hard for people to prove their innocence. You're in a cell block where there is cameras, but it just seems like people don't beat those kind of crimes if you're already in prison. I don't even know if this place is going to press charges on either of them. Some prisons, some jails, you can get stabbed up and slashed and they ain't pressing no charges. Other places, like the places I seen, you can get in a fight, steal someone's cookies, not stab them or slash them or nothing, and get strong arm robbery. So I don't know how this Essex facility is, but the investigation's going on, and if he gets fresh charges for chasing someone down and slashing them up, even in retaliation, that is definitely not going to look good for him. I don't think you understand. This guy's in a horrible situation right now, man. Like, he should have been planning for this to happen, man. If anything like this ever happened, if he's trying to get that lower sentence, he has to just not do nothing. Unfortunately, you don't do nothing. You play the square role, and you go tell the CO, hey, y'all seen what happened, man. I need to get bandaged up, man. Y'all got to come get me. But it's almost impossible for individuals, I guess you could say, that ain't suckers to do. You want to get leniency in the courtroom, then you got to be a damn soft-ass square behind bars. I mean, no write-ups, nothing. You really got to prove to that judge that you're a changed man, right? And the CO. Stuff like that, man. It travels. Word travels. But that's the bulk of it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to bring this scenario to y'all's attention. Believe it or not, all things under the sun's already been done. This type of shit happens in lockup more than you might think. Lose-lose situation when you join gangs, man. I swear it is. You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win. And if you do, you're not even gonna be able to enjoy your winnings. You can be always looking behind your back. I don't give a damn what you say. If you're doing illegal, if bulk of your money's coming in through illegal activities for the rest of your life, you haven't gotten caught, you've been doing it for years, I guarantee you are looking behind your back. And that's no way to live, man. No way to live. No way. Make your money clean, straight up, man, and enjoy your life looking forward.